Soon as I was about to hit the sheets, we finally have wuchangfallenfeathers review from IGN. We're going to check it out. And my verdict going to be, they're going to give it a 7 out of 10. That's going to be my verdict of wuchangfallenfeathers. I already know that I'm going to play it because it's free on Game Pass. So I'm going to play it, and I'm going to stream it. So, but I think they're going to give it a 7 out of 10. We're going to watch this review on of IGN reviewing wuchangfallenfeathers that coming out on Thursday, I think. Yeah, Thursday. So let's see. Let's see what they say. Jeez.
It is a great time to be a fan of Soulslikes. Between the fantastic The First Berserker Kazan earlier in the year, the excellent Lies of P Overture DLC last month, and the multiplayer co-op focused Elden Ring Night Rain, we have been eating
Good.
2025.
Yes,
and
we was.
Had wuchangfallenfeathers as yet another course in that meal.
Okay.
This debut game from developer Leenzee Games impressed me from the start with its exciting, fast-paced, and dynamic combat. It also has one of the best skill trees in the genre, along with intricate
skill trees
through gorgeous vistas and grotesque sights in equal measure. That said, its difficulty is all over the place, with truly wild dips and spikes that go from a relative walk in the park to, oh my god, when is it my turn to attack levels of aggression in some of its later bosses.
Okay.
So, while I'm left with a little bit of whiplash after beating it, it's still an easy and strong recommendation for anyone who's hungry for more.
Okay. Wait a minute. My camera is lagging. Hold on. Let me start the recording and recording. All right, 1 2 1 2 1 2 3. All right, back to it. All right.
In typical Souls-like fashion, Wuchang expects you to do the heavy lifting when it comes to piecing together its story and lore. It's not handled quite as elegantly as a FromSoft game or something like Lies of P. I was actually on board for the intriguing opening. It shows our titular, mostly silent hero, awaken in a cave to discover that she has a disease that robs those afflicted of their memories and gradually turns them into nice monsters. What starts as a personal journey to discover who she is and cure her affliction before she mutates into a nasty bird beast turns into a descent into dark fantasy as the mysteries of the disease, known as the feathering, start to come to light and battle with those transfigured by its effects. That was a good start, but by the end of its 45-hour campaign, I'd lost track of the many characters that pop up, say a few lines of dialogue, and then disappear for 10 or so hours until they pop up again in a completely new location. People kept on referencing names I'd never heard of before, making it really hard for me to follow the conversation. More fiends who enjoy digging into weapon and item descriptions for clues might get more out of the story than I did, but playing through it the same way I have many other games meant its big revelations largely fell flat.
Okay.
To the very gates of hell, if you disrupt
Combat, though, had the flexibility and depth to carry me through to the end of the style, with a ton of different offensive and defensive options at my disposal at all times. Where Wuchang sets itself apart from others that use the familiar style of stamina fueled by heavy attacks to get you from checkpoint to checkpoint is its huge focus on combining the skills and abilities that are tied to your weapons with discipline skills you unlock on the absolutely massive skill tree. For instance, equipping the sword parry discipline skill while using the Flamebringer longsword weapon will let you build up the burn status ailment with its infernal firebrand weapon skill, while also giving you a defensive counter option on top of it. Or compare that same weapon with something like Crescent Moon, which still gives you that same burn build-up ability, but also allows you to get in and then get out to avoid counterattacks altogether, while still being able to build Skybound Might with its built-in evade. You can swap between two weapons mid-fight, or even mid-combo, which doubles your options.
Okay.
And it's good that you have these extra options too, because this is not a game where you can get by with just the basics, especially when it comes to the tougher fights. Powering your skills and spells hinges on generating a resource known as Skyborn Might. which is gained mostly by perfectly dodging enemy attacks at the last instant, but can also be gained in certain weapon-specific ways, such as landing the 4th hit of a light combo string with the axe, the 2nd hit of a light combo string with the longsword, flashing weapons with the dual blades, or automatically over time simply by having the one-handed sword whipped. I had a blast discovering ways to incorporate both weapon and discipline skills into combat to get around limitations like stamina, since using a Skyborn Might Charge often gives you a powerful attack that doesn't deplete your meter, or lets you blow through an enemy's strong defense with a poise break inflicting mist and take huge chunks out of their health in seconds. I felt like I usually had more interesting decisions to make with each level up than I do in most Soulslikes when it came to defining my build. A big part of that is how instead of boosting your preferred stat and making numbers go up each time you get enough currency to level, Wuchang uses a progression system that resembles the Sphere Grid from Final Fantasy X and Salt and Sanctuary.
Wuchang!
Paths to go down and unlock progressively more powerful skills, with 5 of them being devoted to stat and weapon upgrades enhancing each of the different types of armaments, and the last one focusing more on universal.
That skill tree is
like
crazy though.
Charges, general buffs for executing certain techniques, etc. The grid is absolutely gigantic, and even 10 to 30 hours into the campaign, I was still unlocking brand new branches with new discipline skills and tons more upgrades to choose from. That's a lot, but thankfully, respecs are free, allowing you the freedom to change up your entire build with 0 cost or penalty.
That's nice.
Weapon or alter your game plan against a challenging boss. It's an excellent system that encourages experimentation while also rewarding you for having a clear idea of what kind of build you want to make. There's a fairly impressive amount of different types of enemies as well, with each area you visit packing plenty of new twisted creatures with brand new sets of attacks and skills that you'll need to learn how to adjust your build and your tactics to deal with. Everything in this game can be threatened, from the small hunchback dudes that go down in just 1 or 2 hits, but can sneak up on you with a hugely damaging grab, to the towering fiends that are almost like mini-bosses to themselves.
Okay.
This variety kept the action fresh throughout the whole adventure, and kept me tense whenever I would venture into a new area, since I never knew what to expect around the corner.
That's good. That's good. Different type of enemies. A variety. Bumpy roads.
For the first 10 or so hours, though, I didn't have to do a ton of build tweaking to breeze through most of these fights.
Okay.
That wasn't to say it was a walk in the park, but I've played a lot of Soulslikes in my day, and once I got the hang of dodging through the last hit of an enemy combo and charging up a heavy attack to instantly stagger them, I initially felt like I had figured Wuchang out. The deaths that I did experience mostly came from an abundance of cheap-feeling gotcha moments. And if you don't want some minor enemy jump scares spoiled for you, please skip the next 30-ish or so seconds of this video, starting now. Like pots that aren't really pots.
Oh, okay. That's how Wuchang was.
Trees that aren't really trees.
Yeah, Wuchang did the same thing.
And shrines that aren't really shrines.
Oh, that'll get you.
To be fair, lots of Soulslikes have moments like this.
Yeah.
But in Wuchang, it happens with such frequency that it felt like I was constantly getting pranked by the developers. And at a certain point, that joke gets old. Other than that,
At some point,
mostly
it
smooth
gets
sailing
old.
until I came across a boss called Commander Hongler. She wasn't so much of a difficulty spike because that implies some degree of an incline or ramp up, as she was like running into a brick wall. She took me about 2 hours to beat, and while I still came out on the other side of that fight having mostly enjoyed the intensity of it, Honglan serves as a non-spoilery encapsulation of what I don't like about several of Wuchang's later boss fights. The biggest issue is that the punishment window for correctly and precisely dodging most of their attacks is super tight, which takes away from the satisfaction of actually being able to dodge a huge sequence of swings. Like, if you watch this clip, I am on defense for a full 30 seconds before I'm able to punish this.
Yeah, but ain't majority of those like that, bro. Cause the first Berserker, Kazan, was the same way.
The boss's posture bar every time you precisely block it.
And he's just not
closer
explaining.
to being able to do a damaging critical hit once you completely drain it. There's no such satisfying mid-fight progress stage, because perfect dodges just give you Skyborn Might charges, which you still need to find an opening to be able to use. Wuchang does have a posture meter on enemies, but it only increases when you land hits and decreases after a time if you don't, which makes it extremely difficult to get that reward for nuanced aggression when your opportunities to deal damage are so minimal. Not every boss fight after Honglan is like this, but the ones that are feel very drawn out to a degree that diminishes their fun.
Okay. I mean, I guess that ain't too bad.
The world
That
all
ain't
its
too
ups and
bad.
downs take place in is rich with secrets to discover, interconnected paths that satisfyingly link entire sections of the map together, and tough optional challenges with appropriate rewards. I love the gradual descent into dark fantasy. You begin in a very colorful and beautiful Chinese village that is just showing subtle signs of the terrible illness sweeping through its population, and then as you progress deeper underground and through areas that have been absolutely ravaged by the feathering, it starts to feel more and more like a horror game. There are also some cleverly put together sequences that create tension and chaos even without combat being involved. One example is this section where you start on a straightaway with an enemy at the end who builds up an instant killing status affliction called despair just by looking at it. To evade his gaze and get through, I had to make a mad dash past a bunch of enemies, climb up a ramp while avoiding poisonous drops from the ceiling, and navigate around constantly spawning tough monsters that were created by another out-of-reach foe. It's a great example of strong enemy design meshing with clever level design to create an absolutely intense sprint through a dangerous environment.
Okay. All right, we gave it a 7 out of 10. Let's see.
With its fast-paced, dynamic, and flexible combat, and a best-in-class skill tree that allows for a ton of build experimentation and customization, Wuchang is an extremely respectable debut Souls-like for developer Leenzee Games. Some of the later bosses feel frustratingly lacking in chances to capitalize on opportunities for damage, and I would have enjoyed fewer surprise, you're dead kind of moments, but while those feather-ruffling issues lead to some rough patches, none are abrasive enough to keep this innovative take on a hugely popular genre from soaring with some grace.
Oh, I gave it 8. Okay. We was 1 off.
Reviews editor
We was
Marks here
1
with Mitchell
off.
Saltzman to talk about his review of Wuchang-Fallen-Feathers. Mitchell has done tons of Souls-likes for us, reviewed Elden Ring Night Rain, also games like Black Myth Wukong, stuff.
Yeah, okay. Y'all starting to add stuff for y'all reviews now? Alright, so I'm mad at you. Hey, they gave it a 8. So that is good news, guys. Wuchang is a good Souls-like game to start. It is free on Game Pass, so y'all guys don't got to buy it right off the gate. I'm going to try it on I'm going to try it on Xbox Game Pass. If it plays well, we're going to continue playing on that. If not, then I just have to get it for the P5. But other than that, guys, make sure you like this video. Let me know if y'all going to be playing wuchangfallenfeathers this Thursday, but I will be on it. So catch that video when y'all see it, and I'll see y'all guys in the next one. Peace.